All righty. Good morning, everyone. I see everyone popping on in here. Thanks for joining us today on our Build Your Business series. And, we're thrilled to have Michael McCall here today with Realtor.com. Michael, how you doing this morning?
I am good. I'm good. How are you? It's
Oh,
good to be
doing
here.
great. No complaints. It's Friday. I'm always happy on Fridays. And,
And
you
it's
know,
thank God it's Friday. Yes,
yeah,
exactly.
weather's beautiful, and so coming off of Halloween and looking forward to all the holidays. But really
I
thrilled that you could make it here today for us. So
well, it's my
appreciate it.
pleasure. I'm happy to be here.
Great. For everybody popping in here, I see everyone getting situated. If you have any questions for Michael, you can put it in the chat. Me and Alicia will be monitoring that. So, once Michael's done with his presentation, we can go ahead and start answering any questions you have. Otherwise, at the very end, if you want to come off mute and actually give your question live, you can go ahead and just, either put your hand up or unmute, and we'll do it that way. So, then we want to take advantage of Michael's expertise. And Michael, I think you're going to go ahead and today and give us a plan and cultivate success in 2026. That's what it's all about. Looking forward to next year. So, having said
Yep.
that, I'm going to go ahead and let you take it away.
All right. Thank you, David. I appreciate it.
Thanks.
As he said, my name is Michael McCall. I am with the customer education and training team and also a national speaker with Realtor.com. And we're here today to talk about making plans for next year, trying to make 2026 your best year yet. The most successful realtors next year are not going to be defined by market conditions, but by their readiness to adapt, to innovate, and execute new plans. Consumer behavior, that's what we base this on, right? Technology and competition are evolving, as you know, faster than ever. We got stuff like AI. The real estate industry is full of artificial intelligence now. And a lot of agents are really scared about it. A lot of people love it, right? But I always tell people with regard to either video, a lot of agents are scared of video, a lot of agents are scared of AI. Things like that, I just say, well, you got to suck it up because they're there to stay, and so let's try to use them to our best advantage. And realtors who proactively plan their business around all these changes will not only withstand the shifting market landscape, they can capitalize on it. And so this session today now focuses on helping you cultivate consistent success by leveraging these strategies, all these new systems and the channels that drive measurable growth in today's environment. So the new year is a couple of months away, and now is the time to move from planning to action. So many of you have already set your goals, you've outlined your strategies, and some of you are just getting started. That's okay. And you've all envisioned your success for next year. Now it's about bringing those plans to life in a way that feels both achievable and as rewarding as possible. Truthfully, business planning is no longer a once-a-year exercise. It's an ongoing discipline. You can't ever stop. It establishes accountability and confidence in your business. Success next year, again, is not just not going to come from only having a plan, but it's going to come from taking small, consistent steps that add up to big results, kind of knocking down one peg at a time. That's why we're here today, to help you turn your vision into action and keep your business moving forward. Again, with the goal of making 2026 next year your best year in business ever. First thing to do is master your mindset. Staying adaptable, staying resilient, solution-oriented. And today's market requires a very proactive approach, not just a reactive one. So in other words, you got to stay ahead of it all. You have to embrace and grow a growth mindset, believing that your skills and success are built through dedication and effort. And viewing these challenges as learning opportunities instead of roadblocks, not a kind of pain in the neck. That's what's going to be one of your keys to success. Setting clear then and ambitious goals. Smart goals are measurable. This is really important. Anybody can set a goal, but they've got to be measurable. They have to be achievable. Then they have to be relevant, and they have to be time bound. Okay, so this is not an easy thing, but if you put your mind to it, Not a problem. The most practical way to build your action plan and stay organized. SMART goals help you streamline your success, and they identify new opportunities when challenges arise. Developing resilience. Okay, we know about this. I mean, so many times, a deal falls out, whatever the problem is, but you just got to keep going. Because as we know, there's no guarantees in real estate. It's a very unpredictable industry. Mental toughness, that's what you have to kind of develop because it helps you bounce back from setbacks. You learn from your failures, you maintain a positive attitude, and you owe it to your clients to have resilience through one of the most challenging transactions that they might have. But you owe it more to yourself for your continued success. Thinking like an entrepreneur. You are all entrepreneurs, right? You're in business for yourself. So you have to treat your real estate career as a business. This is kind of one of the most difficult things for a lot of agents to actually wrap their minds around. Your own real estate career. Just because you have your license hung with a company, it kind of doesn't matter. Your career is a business. So you have to take ownership of it. And you proactively seek opportunities and you embrace all those calculated risks to drive your own success. This winning mindset that we're talking about isn't just an advantage. It's not just something that might help. It's essential. The agents who thrive are the ones who continuously adapt, again, to all those technologies that we just mentioned a moment ago. They push forward and they take charge of their own success. Knowing your market inside and out is, of course, I think you already know this, pretty important. Tracking inventory, pricing trends, and interest rates. Your clients expect clarity and confidence. You have to always monitor the data that drives decisions so you can guide them with facts rather than headlines. I'm going to show you here a little bit later some of the resources that Realtor.com provides to you for free where you can actually gather all that information. Did you know that you've got access to weekly housing updates, rental reports, housing trends, and other economic reports on, and write this down now, Realtor.com/research. I'm sorry, I should have it on the slide. Realtor.com/research. That is a source of tons and tons of wonderful articles and videos and all kinds of information about all the market trends that we just mentioned. We've recently redesigned this site to make the data more accessible and relevant for your business. Analyzing local data to educate your buyers and sellers. They really appreciate this kind of thing. Your market expertise is what makes you, or one of, I shouldn't say is the thing, but one of the many things that differentiates you from all of your competition. If you can translate the numbers into meaningful insights that help your clients understand timing, value, and opportunity, that's going to get you miles ahead of your competition. I always say in other trainings that I do that at every touch point, every time you communicate with somebody, one of your clients, you always need to be providing something of value, something of extraordinary value. Extraordinary value is a term that I heard in a TED talk, Simon Sinek. I can't remember exactly what it was for, but he was speaking of basically sales in any industry. At any touch point, you provide as much extraordinary value as possible. And everything we just kind of mentioned up till now is included in that umbrella of things of value. You need to be an expert on niche markets. So in other words, very specific expertise, whether it's luxury homes, first-time home buyers, investment properties, maybe you specialize in golf properties or horse properties, that kind of thing. The list of subspecialties of residential real estate is endless. And whichever one of those that you specialize in, you be an expert in that particular specialization because it creates authority. And when you understand the unique needs and the motivations of your audience, you become the agent that they seek out first. This is difficult for a lot of agents, and that is sharing all of your information, sharing your insights and your expertise through social media, newsletters, and constant client outreach. And so if you use products like Follow Up Boss and that programs like that, that really helps, because visibility builds trust. We've heard this term, stay top of mind with your clients, right? You've heard it a million times. It's something that it takes a lot of work, and it's sometimes difficult for agents, but is really necessary. Because if you can deliver consistent and helpful updates across multiple channels to stay top of mind and position yourself as the market expert every day, right? That is going to be the key to one of the keys to your success. And we'll cover a little bit more about that here in just a moment when we talk about social media. Optimizing your online presence, your digital brand, your personal brand, right? This matters more than ever. Keep your website and your online profiles up to date all the time, not just every few months, but throughout the whole year, because this ensures that you've got good marketing omnipresence. You're everywhere. You're everywhere. When somebody searches for you online, they'll find you in multiple different places. Ensure that your social media reflects your expertise and authenticity. But how do you do that? By knowing your market inside and out, showing up on video, and educating your audience on when they should make a move and why, and how they should make a move and who to do it with. Obviously, that's you, right? And you also need to make it easy for people to contact and engage with you. Everyone is really busy these days. So phone call or text might be easy for you, but it's not for everyone. We can all do a better job to be accessible for all of our clients and with each other. How do you optimize your online presence? Here's an example of what a typical search for a realtor would look like on Google. And smart consumers use keywords like real estate, realtor, realty in their search. And so this is how your search results will appear when you have your website and all of your profiles and all of your social media platforms up to date all the time. Your personal website at the top. When your Realtor.com agent profile is complete, it will be more likely to be found towards the top, because Realtor.com is a trusted site. In other words, it's well known by all the search engines, right? Also well known by buyers and sellers, not only to search listings, but to look for an agent. And social media and video will also rank towards the top when you're up to date in your content. We're going to talk about your profile here a lot more here in just a second. But I always want to tell people, yeah, maybe you've claimed your profile, but have you looked at it recently to make sure it's up to date? Have you filled it out as completely as possible? Because what we want to do, and I hope we just inferred that, is that when somebody is searching for properties, from out of state, and they're going to make a move, let's say in 6 months, we want your profiles and all of your information to show up right in the middle of their property search, even before they're begun to think about finding an agent. And so a little bit of effort on your part to put as much detailed information about yourself into your profile and into all of your social media platforms is going to allow them to find you. So let's look at your profile here now. Claiming your profile is free. So many agents don't realize that actually, whether you've claimed it or not, you already have a profile on Realtor.com. As long as you have a license, an active license, and you belong to an MLS, you already have one. But if you haven't done anything with it, it's pretty much blank, right? So it's not going to incent anyone to want to contact you. Having a completed profile can boost your SEO. You've heard that term before, right? Search engine optimization, so that you show up higher on a Google search. We've also got a little joke among our training team, and that is where's a good place to hide a dead body? And that is basically on page 2 or 3 of a search engine result, right? You know this yourself. When you're searching for something and you might get thousands of results, you're really only going to look at the first page, right? So if you don't show up on the first page, people may not find you. Having a completed up-to-date profile also impacts how you show up in artificial intelligence searches. Services like ChatGPT or Google AI, and there's so many of those different ones, right? They actually are now search engines. That's part of all this new technology we were talking about. This is called GEO. This is a brand new term for me as well, generative engine optimization. And it's the future of AI search, and it's already here, whether we like it or not. So make sure that your profiles, especially on Realtor.com, are updated so people searching real estate on ChatGPT can find you as well. So it's time to get back in control, making time to optimize your online presence so you can be found. And I think up till now, we've already thrown so much information and so many tasks that you have to do. And I just want to say it does not have to be an overwhelming task, right? Just kind of, as we said before, kind of knock one peg down at a time. Here's some concepts to be really cognizant of. Don't be a mystery agent. Don't get lost in the shuffle. Don't make it hard for people to find you. Be the realtor that everyone wants to know, and make your brand easy to remember and be found. And if that last one, let me repeat it, make your brand easy to remember and to be found. The rest of it, the ones before, kind of all fall into place. Always think about the search journey of today's real estate consumer. So when people start looking for a home, or even just exploring, perhaps selling their home, they often land on a large portal like Realtor.com, or it could be Zillow or Homes.com or some of those others, right? And oftentimes they're getting closer to make a decision. And in some cases, they'll find your Realtor.com profile before they find your website. So even after you've met a client for the first time, you know that the next thing they're going to do is Google you. They're going to stalk you. They're going to do a little research on you before they decide to either come meet you or give you a call, right? They're looking at reviews, recommendations, and anything that helps them decide if you're the right fit. Your Realtor.com profile often shows up in that search. And what you need to also realize is that when they're looking for an agent, the beginning of the process is searching virtually. And they're searching without the benefit of a face-to-face appointment. I know when I was practicing real estate, the hard part was getting in front of somebody. And if I was across a coffee table with somebody, my close rate was over 90%. That's the hard part. So you have to make their virtual search process as satisfying as possible for them, allowing them to get to know you as much as possible online before they decide they're going to call you. Now, a fully complete profile on Realtor.com can get up to 4 times as many impressions. In addition to which, our own internal statistics tell us that an agent that has completed their profile to at least an 80% degree of completeness increases their chances of being contacted by over 10 to 1. So that's why keeping it up to date is really important. A blank or an outdated profile is a missed opportunity. And we still see millions of unique visitors on Realtor.com every month. On average, we've got between 75 and 100 million unique visitors. A huge portion of those visitors come to Realtor.com actually looking for an agent. So we always want that profile to be as effective as possible. Make sure it's current, complete, so that you can make a great first impression for buyers and sellers. Now, here's an example of what an agent profile on Realtor.com looks like. This basic profile is free, as I mentioned before, right? And it's such an easy way to be found online. Top and center is your profile snapshot, which includes your photo, your brokerage, years of experience, star ratings from your reviews, and a connect button so that the buyer and seller can easily connect with you directly right from your profile. Right above your photo are quick links so they can go directly to what they're looking for. Your contact information, your credentials, your ratings and reviews, your biography, which is so important, and so on. And under your name and headshot is your performance snapshot of the last 12 months. And then under your name here in the middle is where you can tag your specialties. Let me just make a brief comment on specialties. I look at these profiles as part of my job by the hundreds, right? So many agents just simply put in residential real estate. Well, duh, you and everybody else listening and every other agent in the country also does residential real estate, does not set you apart. In this particular field, you got 1,150 characters. And so you need to put in as much detail as possible. So you are a golf course specialist. You are a horse property specialist. You are an investment property specialist. And of course, that list is infinite, right? It goes on and on and on. When the consumer begins their search for real estate, for a property that they're looking for, they are usually very specific about what they want. And so, as I said just a moment ago, when there's enough detail in your profile, you will show up in their search. You'll be connected by this technical term called keywords, right? Because every term, every phrase, everything you put into your profile becomes what we call a searchable tag that's attached to your name. Now, very briefly, if you haven't claimed your profile yet, here is how you do it. And feel free, by the way, to take screenshots of these slides when they come up, because there's a lot of important information here. You're always going to go to dashboard.realtor.com and just simply enter your email address and password to get to your agent professional dashboard. If you haven't done it yet, just click the sign up link and follow directions. It's really easy. And once you're in, you'll see the Manage Profile on the main menu to the left. Notice here at the top is a score that shows you how complete your profile is and what fields should be completed next if you're not at 100%. Remember what I said before, if you're at 80% at least, then you increase your chances of being contacted by 10 to 1. But it only takes the whole process, might take you about an hour and a half, right? If you've never done anything with it. And so I would like to ask the question, is an hour and a half, or even if it's 2 hours, is that amount of time worth maybe 2 or 3 extra deals a year, right? Leads that might come in from your profile? The usual answer I get is yes. Now here's a quick look at the Edit Profile page. It's very straightforward. Your profile completeness score is right there at the top. So use this as a guide to ensure that your profile is always up to date so you can be found online. Now, I would like to interject something here too. All right. Obviously, I work for Realtor.com. The products that are associated with this company are what I deal with. But I'm also concerned about your optimal online visibility. Whatever you do on your Realtor.com profile, do it everywhere. You might be a Zillow subscriber or Homes.com or Redfin, whatever, or all of your social media platforms. Whatever you do, whatever tips and tricks that you gain from today's session, make sure you implement them everywhere, because the more information that's out there, the more easily you can be found. Now, back to this product, however, make sure that your reviews and testimonials are always up to date on your Realtor.com profile, because so many buyers and sellers are on this site researching agents, and they're looking for the right one. They're looking for what people have said about you in the past, okay? So You can put an unlimited number of recommendations and testimonials into this profile. So again, and sometimes they're just sitting in an old email where nobody can see them. Just copy and paste them right in. Build and nurture your database. Categorize and segment your contacts for personalized follow-ups. Relevance increases responses. Tailor your communication to where each contact is in their journey, rather than just sending the same message to everyone. So this requires a little extra work, right? When you get to know somebody, you know what their hobbies are, you know what they're looking for, you know how many dogs they've got, and that's why they need a bigger yard, right? So, all those little details are so important to include in your communication with your clients. Use email, text, social media, direct messages to stay connected. Meet people where they already communicate. So that's one more thing you have to learn about each client. Multiple channel engagement keeps relationships warm, creates more opportunities for conversion and conversation. And if you've connected with a lead or a referral on social media, you use these direct messages, either Instagram or Facebook or LinkedIn, to send quick notes or share valuable resources. And some of the best business relationships are fostered in social media direct messages. Be very intentional with touch points. Every touch point has to have a specific reason for it. Handwritten notes, phone calls, text messages, events. Authentic connection builds loyalty. And thoughtful personal outreach turns contacts into advocates who remember you when it's time for them to make a move. Then leverage your social media and your video marketing. Social media has become the most effective way for consumers to discover and evaluate real estate professionals. And a lot of agents don't like social media. I understand, but it's just, again, it's one of those things that's here to stay, and it's very, very necessary. I know a lot of real estate agents that get tons of business from TikTok, if you can believe that, right? And all of these trends are only going to accelerate in 2026, next year. I mentioned TikTok, but other platforms like Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. YouTube is another one. These will serve as digital first impressions. We like YouTube a lot because I think it's almost 3 years ago now, but Google now owns YouTube. And so the indexing there is just really superb, right? And what you should do is each one of you should have your own private YouTube channel. It's free. Just go in, create it, and then upload videos like crazy. Upload videos. And with regard to video, there is still a misnomer out there that, well, no, video is too expensive. Well, you don't need to spend any money. In fact, very casual, mistake-ridden videos done with your cell phone or the little camera that's built into the top of your laptop, those actually provide better responses and better results than videos with production value that you've actually paid a lot of money for, right? And so we like YouTube as well because you upload a video into your channel, and then on the right-hand side are all the other videos that you've put there. And so for the viewer, this becomes more relevance for them to watch. What are some of the other things you can do to show up on social media? That is, share hyper-local content, right? This allows you to become the go-to local expert. So if you're posting a market update graphic, explain what that graphic means to buyers or sellers in today's market. The data is only good if it is relevant and relatable to the person reading it. Show behind the scenes moment to build authenticity. A lot of people don't realize all the research and outreach that you have to do to prepare your buyer or your seller, or all the things you do for the seller before an open house, for example. Most clients don't realize the kind of work that we actually do. So start showing your audience that you're more than just a person who opens doors and fills out paperwork, right? Being a realtor, as we know, is so much more than that. And sometimes the public doesn't know that, so you have to educate them. Engage in a consistent manner. Don't always just post stuff, but starting conversations in comment or in your direct messages. You don't have to post original content every single day, but you should be in your social media more frequently engaging with your connections. There's a lot of third-party services that will help you do that, by the way, right? It will automatically post information for you. AI is a wonderful tool when you're stuck for some new article that you want to post. All you have to do is ask ChatGPT to give you, a month's worth of social media posts and just tell it on what subject you want, and it'll provide those for you, right? So you don't have to come up with all this stuff yourself. Now, agents who consistently show up online build top-of-mind awareness with their sphere and community. Now, this drives repeat and referral business. Agents who master digital influence today, that's a fancy word for simply being engaged in the technologies of today, right? Will secure more opportunities tomorrow because the market is choosing professionals who are visible, valuable, and easily reachable, where the consumers already spend their time and when the consumer needs them. Now, here's an example. Create a content calendar. This is just one of many examples. A calendar to stay organized and ensure that you're not skipping a beat. This is a simple template created on Canva. And we created this with a year's worth of content. I'll give you a second to just grab that QR code with your camera, right? Again, just an example of what can be done here. It doesn't have to be fancy or even perfect. Your goal is just to get it done. Now, here's some other resources here. We have what we call a Pro Hub. That is a full website with thousands of research items, research materials, again, videos, articles, etc., co-brandable marketing materials that you can edit for yourself and use in your social media posts. So leverage this Pro Campaign Hub. Again, I'll give you a second to grab that QR code. That'll take you right to that website. And of course, as you can see, this is almost a year now, but Reba McEntire is now our official company representative. And there's tons of videos in this Pro Hub, etc., that will feature her. Here's an example of seller assets in that Pro Campaign website. They're professionally designed, as I said before, editable and ready for you to showcase your value to your followers. So again, all of this is free to you. Take advantage of it. It's there. Why not use it, right? We're almost done here, so thanks for sticking with me. Elevating your value proposition. Offer market education, not just listings. Clients today want to have a strategic partner, somebody who's really involved with them. So deliver insights and information that help them navigate the market with clarity and confidence, not just accessing inventory. And again, I've mentioned before all these various different sources for resources for you, and that's all included in what we've just been talking about. So make sure you use all of these sources. Help your clients see long-term real estate wealth building. Position real estate as a financial vehicle. Show your buyers and sellers how today's decision can expand their equity and opportunities over time. Building trust by being transparent and knowledgeable. The transparency part, particularly when I've trained brand new agents, don't ever be dishonest. And I'm not saying, lying to them, but sometimes we don't want to admit what we don't know, right? And that is a really bad thing. If you don't know something, just say you don't know, but you're going to find out, right? Because credibility is earned. Open and honest communication backed up by your experience and your expertise and your confidence strengthens your reputation. Now, why should why should a client choose you? Your brand is your promise. Define what makes your service unique. Communicate it consistently. I do a whole session on biographies and personal marketing. So and we don't have time for that today, but I'm just going to throw in a little tidbit here. What is it that builds a relationship under any circumstances? How do two people connect under any circumstance? It's usually through common interests. I read agent biographies, as I said, and profiles by the hundreds every day, right? It's part of my job. And agents start out their biography with all of their professional achievements and their market expertise. And all of that, of course, is very important. But it doesn't say anything about who you are as a human being. It doesn't tell the client what your passions are outside of real estate. What do you love to do when you're not working? Do you love to travel? Are you a gardener, a dog lover? And again, that list is infinite. Spend just a few sentences of your personal marketing talking about who you are outside of real estate, because that resonates with people. That will make them think they've got, well, not think, but believe they have something in common with you. That is very important from a psychological basis. Okay, so that's the little tidbit particularly about biographies and your personal marketing. Don't be afraid to share who you are and perhaps also what you have done in the past. Most real estate agents have come from a previous work experience, right? So think about, what did you learn from your past work experience that you can bring forward into your real estate practice that resonates with people? Remember, your brand is much more than just a logo. It's how you make people feel in this whole home buying or the selling journey. Clients remember the experience you create. Your brand reflects trust, confidence, and connection that they associate. Prioritize your relationships over the transactions, right? So how do we put that in a clear manner? Well, and this is hard for some people, and we always are guilty of trying to calculate that commission, right, on this deal as long as it works. Yeah, we're human, so we're going to do that. But basically, try to get over that and prioritize your relationship over a single transaction, because that person right in front of you is more than just the deal, because that person right in front of you can be deals and deals and deals for years to come. Positive experiences create loyalty that far outlasts any single transaction. Anticipate their needs and solve the problems before they arise, right? This proactive thinking and service will set you apart. When the client feels supported and guided, they gain confidence while maintaining that clear boundary and professionalism and showing that you are reliable, organized, and respectful of their time. It builds trust and ensures that the client feels supported. And you can turn happy clients into lifelong advocates and referral sources. Many of you already know that a happy, satisfied client is your best marketing tool. And don't ever forget to always ask for the testimonials and the recommendations after a closed transaction. If you consistently exceed these expectations, you'll turn these relationships into ongoing business opportunities. Invest in your professional development with your time and finances, right? Growth requires investment. Dedicated both resources to sharpening skills, to expand your knowledge, and stay competitive in a very rapidly evolving market. It's a must to obviously retain your license. That's pretty clear, right? Continuing learning is non-negotiable. Keeping up with regulations and trends and best practices ensures that you remain a trusted expert for your clients. The most recent example I can think about that, of course, is all the NAR lawsuits that happened, in the last couple of years, and going to events and listening to conversations. It's been a kind of a nightmare for a lot of people, right? But learning about all the new rules, the process really didn't change. It's just the rules changed and some of the paperwork changed. But obviously, that's something very important to keep up with. First of all, to keep yourself out of trouble and your broker out of trouble, right? But also to educate your clients. And of course, if you have the time, designations from NAR are very important, right? If you have the CRS designation or the Residential Real Estate Council, there's 13 or 14 of them. GRI is one I definitely recommend. That's like a master's degree in real estate. We talked about implementing new tools already, right? But don't be afraid of them. Don't be afraid of innovation. Experiment with technology that streamlines your workflow. Don't ever be afraid that let's call AI again, call it up again, is ever going to replace you. It's not, but it's going to make some of the rote work that you have to do every day a lot easier. And it also improves the client experience. And always make time to carve out time, like you're doing right now, by the way, congratulations, right? To attend conferences, to attend video events like this, webinars and masterminds, because an exposure broadens perspective. And if, for example, if today you just took away one little gem, right, then it was worth your time. And we've already talked about ongoing education, etc. Agents with advanced certifications and designations experience a 50% higher satisfaction rate. I know when I'm looking for a realtor out of state to refer something to it, I always look for somebody that has a GRI, right? That's just my own thing because I have one. And so I am looking for people who for agents that already invested that additional amount of time and money into their practice. So don't be afraid of that. More than just hanging out your license, it adds to your professional development and to your business success. And so just to wrap it up today, here's a list of what we covered. Master your mindset, know your market in and out, optimize your online presence, right? That takes a little bit of time, but again, for the most part, they're one-time tasks to get them set up, and then just a little bit of attention every few weeks or so to make sure everything is current. And we spend a lot of time on your free profile on Realtor.com. Can I say free again, right? So why aren't you using it if you're not, right? Leverage your social media and your video marketing. And all of this, up till now, all of this doesn't cost anything. Build and nurture your database, right? Making sure that you keep your clients in a database and never lose touch with all of your past clients. Elevate your value proposition. What is it that makes you different? What value can I provide or you can provide that's different and better than your competition? Build a brand that buyers and sellers trust. And you win more with a customer service mindset. We talked about that just a few minutes ago. And then investing in your professional development. Here's a QR code again, right? This is a QR code that goes to your resource hub, basically. So grab that QR code, make sure that you're using all of our free resources. There's another one that we've just kind of in the last year that we've integrated into your profile, and that is what we call enhanced listing intelligence, where we can analyze the performance of your listings and provide really accurate data to your sellers, right? When you have a listing, and then gives you information about what might need to be changed. Is it time for a price change, etc., right? What it does is it helps you not leave your marketing to chance. And we have so many more solutions available here. And then finally, we also provide you with free training, right? This was one example of it from our results series. But if you go to that URL, support.realtor.com/training, the page is much longer than what you see on your screen. This will basically provide you with classes that are usually always offered at least once a week. Most of them have an on-demand version. This is all free to you, okay? And so I encourage you to please use all of these free resources. So that wraps it up today. If you have any questions or you want to stay in touch, there's my email address right there, michael.mccall@realtor.com. Make sure that you go to realtor.com/marketing. Those are all that's another resource for you. And remember, support.realtor.com. You can follow us on Facebook and on TikTok. And that wraps it up today. 45 minutes is what I
Yeah, Michael, thank you. That was awesome. Fantastic stuff. Yeah,
thank you guys for joining me today and spending your time. I really appreciate it, and I hope you found it valuable.
Oh, I'm sure they did. And yeah, we'll make sure to go ahead and take this. We'll email everyone here a copy of the presentation so they have it. And yeah, Michael, I think the only question I saw, Michael, was GRI, what does that stand for again?
Graduate Realtor Institute.
Okay, gotcha. Graduate Realtor Institute.
And so basically and I really recommend this to anybody listening if you don't already have this. Most of the other designations, those 3-letter acronyms at the end of your name, right? They take a day or two to get, right? And they're very valuable. I'm not at all demeaning them. The GRI, however, is another 90 hours. It's only offered through NAR. And then also through your state association. And you very often have to go from city to city. It's not something you can do in just a couple of days. But when you have the time and a couple of extra bucks, it's very much worth it. As I said, it's pretty much like a master's degree in real estate. And so it's Graduate Realtor Institute. And if you go to the NAR website, you can find out all the information about it.
Gotcha. And just one other thing, I said Tina actually said just updated and completed her profile. Fantastic. Thumbs up for her.
Good. Yeah.
And I think Pat had one question let me find that one here real quick here. Could you quickly how to post client reviews? Was that something
That's going to be all right. So if you're in the profile, I'll just describe it very, very quickly.
Sure.
When you've logged into your dashboard, and you go to the very left-hand panel menu, and it's manage your profile, and that will drop down a further menu, and then it's a testimonials. They keep changing it from recommendations to testimonials. So whichever one it is, you have the ability through that particular screen now to reach out and ask for recommendations. There's also on your profile page that the consumer sees will be a button where they can provide a recommendation for you, or you can simply cut and paste them in from other sources.
I think that was one of the things we wanted to copy and paste. I see right there. Beautiful. Pat gave you a thumbs up.
Yeah.
And a clap,
there's also a function on our portal which is unique to Realtor.com, and that's called the rating and review. The recommendations can come from anywhere. They don't even have to be a real estate client. They can be past work experience. You can put them in yourself, as we just said. The rating and review comes from past clients only with a closed transaction, right? And then not just a testimonial, but then they'll rate you 1 to 5 stars on professionalism, communication, market expertise, and one other thing, which I can't remember. But basically, they rate you on all these various categories as well as a written testimonial. And that is also something that everybody should do at the close of every transaction.
Gotcha. Well, Mike, Pat had a point. If we have a quote Karen nasty review, are they stuck with it, or is it something more?
That's a wonderful thing. All right, so obviously, when you cut and paste your own in, you're not going to put anything bad in. Now, if on the recommendation side, if you ask for one, right, they are not published automatically. You'll see them in your agent dashboard, and then you have the ability to publish them or delete them.
Okay, gotcha. So you can't.
Okay. Now the rating and review, that second thing that if I always ask, it's fun to ask in front of a live group of people, have you ever had a client from hell? Right. And so, we've all had them. Right. And so those you might not want to ask for the rating and review, because when that is completed by the client, that automatically goes into your profile.
Gotcha.
Okay?
Wonderful. Wonderful. Gotcha. Mike, thanks so much. Everybody see Michael's email. You can also reach out to us at ProDev and we'll reach out to Michael as well.
Sure.
Mike, yeah, I hope we'll definitely have you back in the future. Don't
I'd
be a
love to
stranger.
be back. I appreciate it.
Awesome. Awesome. And for everybody attending, thank you so much for attending and keeping out for more stuff in the future from Michael, Realtor.com. Wonderful material. Mike, have a great holidays coming up and we'll see you soon.
And the same to you guys. Okay.
Gotcha.
Bye-bye now.
Take care, everybody. Bye-bye.
Make sure to check out our Pro Support page for additional videos on a full range of topics. And don't forget to click that subscribe button on our MLS Listings YouTube page.